Hospital-acquired infections are a huge problem worldwide. About half of them are device-related. There are hundreds of thousands of implanted devices that can get infected annually in the US. Typically, they're infected by a biofilm. Now, a biofilm is a community of bacteria that attach to a surface, in this case, an implant. Then they produce this protective layer that makes it so that way your immune system and antibiotics can't get to it. These biofilms, not only can they not be treated, but they also can lead to a full body infection. Those patients that get to that extreme, 20 to 40% of them die, depending on the infection. So currently, what surgeons do, if you have a patient that has an infected implant, they go in and they have to remove that implant. This is an incredibly invasive surgery. Then that patient has to live for a period of time without that implant. Up here I have a picture of a hip implant. In that case, that patient has to live for a while without an implant. They're stuck in a wheelchair. They have to wait for that infection to completely clear. Then they go back in for another invasive surgery to have a new implant placed in. That new implant has twice the likelihood of infection than that initial one did. This results in very low patient quality of life, and it costs the US about $6 billion annually. So our lab is looking at a coating you can put on the surface of these implants. This coating, we're able to heat up wirelessly and remotely. That means that we can get to the bacteria where they're at without ever having to open up the patient. So I'm specifically looking at what temperatures we need to heat to kill off these biofilms, how long we have to hold that temperature for, and what is the combined effect with antibiotics. So what I found is, yes, heat does have an effect. We can kill off these biofilms. Also, the combined effect with the antibiotics has been incredibly interesting. I found that temperatures that have no effect on their own, when I combine it with an antibiotic that had no effect on its own either, combined, we can kill up to 99.99999% of the bacteria. So this is actually a very viable option. So this technology will allow us to remotely heat up these biofilms, killing them at the site, never having to do any invasive surgeries, and save lots of patient lives, improve quality of life, and save the US millions of dollars annually. Thank you.
So can you tell us a little more about yourself?
Sure. I grew up in Boulder, Colorado. I then decided I couldn't leave the mountains. I have too many activities I love to do in them. So I went up to Montana and I got my bachelor's at Montana State. And then decided I wanted to go on for a Ph.D., potentially go on to be a professor at some point, and found myself here.
What's your favorite mountain in Iowa? Just kidding. So in your free time, when you're not working, even if it's hypothetical, what do you like to do?
Actually, I compete for the University of Iowa for dancing.
Oh, okay.
So I'm actually going to head up to a competition right after this. So back to back.
Do you have what type of dance is it?
So I do, it's ballroom.
Okay.
So that includes cha-cha, rumba, mambo, swing, tango, waltz, foxtrot.
So you could give us lessons. Maybe you and Maggie could give us lessons. So what do you see yourself doing in 5 years?
Like I mentioned, I would love to be a professor, but we'll see how that all works out.
Okay, well, good luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you.